You think the office is just work, deadlines, meetings, emails. You think if you keep your head down, stay productive, and avoid drama, you'll be safe. That's the illusion they want you to believe. Machiavelli would laugh at that, because the workplace isn't neutral ground. It's a battlefield disguised as routine. Every smile you see could be a strategy. Every casual chat could be reconnaissance, and every friendly colleague could be an ally, a spy, or a rival, depending on the day. If you keep asking, "Why is it unfair?" you've already lost. Machiavelli would ask a different question. Who's pulling the strings? Here's what he would do the moment he stepped into your office. First, he would map the terrain, not the desks or the departments, the power map. Who holds influence without title? Who whispers into the ear of decision makers? Who hides behind others' authority, letting someone else take the blame? He would study patterns. Who eats lunch together? Who stays late together? Who suddenly changes tone when a manager walks in? This is not gossip. This is intelligence gathering. He would never walk into a meeting thinking everyone's intentions were pure. He would assume that every interaction has a motive, spoken or unspoken. And instead of reacting emotionally to slights, he would note them, catalog them, and connect the dots until the real game revealed itself. Machiavelli knew that power is never passive. In the office, that means you are either advancing or being pushed back. Either you are shaping the game or you are being shaped by it. There is no middle ground. So stop playing the office game they tell you exists. Start playing the game that's actually happening. Your survival and your rise will depend on how quickly you can see the battlefield for what it truly is. And once you see it, like Machiavelli, you'll never see it any other way.
Hey guys, we're Strategy, based in Abu Dhabi. We use AI tools to make these concepts come to life, but it's our amazing team who goes deep, breaking down powerful philosophical ideas and showing how they really apply in everyday life. We hope you enjoyed today's content.
They will smile at you. They will nod when you speak. They will even clap when you succeed. And you will think, these people are on my side. Machiavelli would shake his head, because friendliness is not loyalty. It never was. It never will be. The truth is, most people are loyal only as long as it's convenient. They are loyal to opportunity, to advantage, to survival. They will praise you in public, then vanish the moment you're under fire. They will laugh with you over coffee, then repeat your private words to the exact person who can use them against you. If they gossip with you, they will gossip about you. If they share someone else's secrets, they will share yours too. Machiavelli would never give blind trust. He would give controlled trust, precise, measured, and only to the degree required to get the job done. He would test people quietly before depending on them. He would never reveal his ambitions, his fears, or his true plans. He would let people believe they were close to him, while never actually holding anything they could use to destroy him. Because in his mind, loyalty is not something you have. It's something you rent. It expires the moment your value, your influence, or your leverage fades. And when that day comes, they will sell you out without hesitation. So be friendly, be warm, but stay empty. Let people feel like they know you, while giving them nothing that matters. That is how Machiavelli would survive. That is how he would win. They tell you that hard work is the currency of success. That if you work late, hit every deadline, and deliver flawless results, you'll be rewarded. Machiavelli would smirk at that lie, because in his world, and in yours, performance alone doesn't guarantee power. Information does. He would walk into the office not just as a worker, but as a collector. Every conversation, every offhand remark, every subtle reaction in a meeting, these are deposits into his bank of leverage. He would know who is restless, who is ambitious, who is insecure, and who is looking for an exit. While everyone else measures success in sales numbers or project completion, Machiavelli would measure it in intel, knowing things others don't, at the exact moment it matters most. And here's his first rule: talk less, listen more. Every time you open your mouth, you're giving away something. Your opinion reveals your alliances. Your excitement reveals what you value. Your frustration reveals where you can be provoked. Even your silence, if not controlled, can reveal when you feel pressured. Machiavelli would master his own expression the way a chess player masters the board. No wasted moves, no unplanned gestures. When he spoke, he would use partial truths, enough to answer without truly answering, enough to appear transparent without ever being exposed. Colleagues might walk away thinking they understood him, but they'd never be able to map his full intentions. They'd know the edges of the puzzle, but never the center. And why? Because the unreadable man is the dangerous man. A man you can predict is a man you can control. But a man you cannot predict. You approach him with caution, you tread lightly around him, and in that hesitation, he gains the upper hand. Machiavelli would control information like a dam controls water, letting it flow only in measured amounts and only in the direction that serves him. He wouldn't stop at guarding what he says. He'd guard what others say to him. He would listen with patience, using silence to invite oversharing. He would never rush to fill a pause in conversation. He'd let the other person fill it, revealing far more than they intended. Because here's the truth: once people know exactly what you want, exactly how you think, exactly what you fear, they can corner you. They can copy your ideas. They can block your path. But when they don't know, they hesitate, they guess. And while they're guessing, Machiavelli is already 3 moves ahead. Control the flow. Hide the center of your map. Let them think they've seen your hand, when in reality, they've only seen the cards you wanted them to see. That's not just secrecy, that's survival. They'll tell you to stand out if you want to get ahead, to make your voice heard, to claim every victory. Machiavelli would call that the fastest way to paint a target on your own back. He knew the golden rule of survival in power games. Hide the dagger with a smile. That smile, it disarms, it lowers guards, it convinces people you're harmless, maybe even too harmless to be a threat. And that's exactly the point, because the most dangerous move you can make is to convince everyone you're not making any moves at all. He would never charge at the front door of power. That's where all the resistance is. He'd walk through the side entrance while they were busy watching someone else. He'd keep his true ambitions invisible, hidden under layers of friendliness, helpfulness, and even self-deprecation. Let them underestimate you. Let them think you're there to support, not to lead. Underestimation is not an insult. It's a weapon. Machiavelli would also master the art of idea laundering. If an idea served his long-term plan, he wouldn't need his name attached to it. He'd plant the seed in someone else's mind, in just the right way, at just the right time. Let them believe it was theirs. Let them fight to defend it. Because when they think they own the idea, they protect it with more passion than if you claimed it yourself. And while they're doing that work, your influence is expanding, invisibly. Then comes the noise, harmless chatter, trivial updates, shallow opinions. This is camouflage. The more you fill the air with harmless details, the less anyone notices the real work you're doing in the background. Your true moves happen where no one is looking. For every one thing they see, you've hidden 10. And if they ever try to trace your rise, they'll find nothing but dead ends and friendly gestures. Strategic concealment isn't cowardice, it's precision. It's how you move without resistance, because the moment they see you as a threat, the game changes. They isolate you, block you, unite against you. But if they see you as harmless, they leave you alone. And when they finally realize what you've built, it will already be too late to stop it. That's how Machiavelli would rise, not by shouting for the throne, but by letting the crown fall into his lap while everyone else was watching someone else's war. Most people make one of two mistakes with their boss. They compete too openly, or they serve loyally forever, hoping to be rewarded. Machiavelli would laugh at both, because to rise above your boss, you must first become essential to them, and then make them optional. He would follow a 4-phase play: patient, deliberate, impossible to detect until it's too late. Phase 1, shadow. He wouldn't announce himself. He wouldn't ask for more responsibility. He would quietly absorb the work his boss avoids, the messy, complicated, draining tasks no one wants. Slowly, his hands would be on every critical process, every unclaimed decision, every blind spot in the boss's vision. He wouldn't just be helpful. He would make himself the solution they didn't know they couldn't live without. Phase 2, confidence. Once the boss relied on him, Machiavelli would build trust, but never intimacy. He'd be warm but empty, polite but reserved. He would let the boss vent frustrations, share weaknesses, even confess doubts, while never returning the favor. The flow of information would be one way. The more the boss revealed, the more leverage Machiavelli would hold when the time came. And yet, the boss would believe he was loyal, because Machiavelli would never show a hint of ambition. Phase 3, network. While strengthening his position with the boss, he would be building alliances beneath and around them, helping juniors when they're overwhelmed, solving problems for other departments, becoming the quiet constant that people turn to when things break down. One day, the boss would still hold the title, but Machiavelli would hold the loyalty of the people, and in any political arena, influence will always outlast authority. Phase 4, opportunity. Every leader eventually makes a mistake. They overreach, they lose favor, they get blindsided by someone above them. Machiavelli would never be the one to start the fire, but when the flames appeared, he would step forward, calm, prepared, already holding the solutions. He wouldn't demand the position, he would reluctantly accept it, letting others believe the promotion was their idea. By the time the boss realized what had happened, the chair would already be warm. And if the boss never fell, Machiavelli wouldn't waste energy forcing the collapse. He would build a parallel power structure, a network so deep and wide that eventually his influence outgrew his title. One day, when leadership needed a change, his name would rise to the top without him ever campaigning for it. Because for Machiavelli, replacing the boss was never about force. It was about design. Serve first, replace later, and make the transition look so natural that no one ever suspects it was a strategy from the start. Power doesn't always sit in the corner office. Titles impress people. Influence moves them. Machiavelli knew the difference, and he would always choose influence. He would begin by building what most people overlook, the quiet power web. Not the obvious alliances, not the public friendships, but the unseen network that makes everything in the office move. He would start with the gatekeepers, the assistant who decides who gets on the calendar, the intern who sees the unfiltered version of the team, the IT tech who knows which emails are being monitored, the facilities staff who overhears what's said when no one thinks they're listening. These people may not sit in boardrooms, but they control the flow of access, information, and opportunity. And Machiavelli would make sure they see him as a friend, a problem solver, and someone they quietly want to help. Then, he would plant seeds of debt. Not financial debt, the kind of small personal favors people remember. Fixing a report before a big meeting, covering for someone when they were about to miss a deadline, sharing the right piece of intel at the right moment. Each act is a thread in the web, and every thread makes it harder for someone to cut themselves loose. Next, he would position himself at critical crossroads, the places in the workflow where decisions pass through. Maybe it's reviewing a budget before it hits the director's desk. Maybe it's being the only person who understands a certain system. Maybe it's managing the project updates everyone needs before a presentation. Whatever it is, Machiavelli would make himself the bridge people must cross to get things done. The beauty of the web is that it's invisible to most. Colleagues might think they can move without him until they realize the path forward runs through his hands. And when they do realize, it's too late. The web is already wrapped around them. Influence outlives authority because it doesn't need permission. A boss can be replaced. A title can be reassigned. But if the entire network already runs through you, you survive every reshuffle, every power shift, every storm. That's how Machiavelli would build it. Quietly, patiently, relentlessly. And when the moment came to pull the strings, the web wouldn't just hold him up. It would pull him higher. The most dangerous player in the room isn't the one everyone fears. It's the one no one notices until they realize every decision is going their way. Machiavelli understood this better than anyone. The strongest influence is the one you never see. He wouldn't try to dominate the conversation or take credit for every idea. In fact, he would do the opposite. He would float ideas like seeds in the wind, planting them in the minds of others, letting those people believe the ideas were their own. Because when someone thinks it's their idea, they'll defend it, fight for it, and push it harder than you ever could. Meanwhile, Machiavelli sits back, watching his plans advance without lifting a finger. He would also master the art of subtle division, not loud arguments, not open sabotage, just small, deliberate differences in what he tells each side, enough to create tension, enough to slow their unity, enough to make them doubt each other. Enemies who are busy watching each other have no energy left to watch you. And above all, he would shape opinions in the shadows. A carefully placed comment here, an approving nod there, a subtle question at the right moment in a meeting, planting just enough doubt to steer the outcome. He would never own the win in public. He'd let others carry the trophy while he keeps the power. The rule is simple. Never let them see your web. If they start asking why people keep listening to you, if they start wondering why you always seem to know things first, if they notice how often your suggestions become decisions, you've shown too much. The moment your influence is visible, it becomes a target. Machiavelli's genius was to make power look like coincidence. Let others believe they're in control. Let them underestimate you. By the time they realize how much you've shaped the game, it will already be too late to stop you. A web is only powerful as long as it stays hidden. Show it off, and you invite scissors. Machiavelli knew this, which is why the art of keeping power is the art of keeping it invisible. He would grow his influence the way roots grow under the soil, quietly, steadily, without attracting attention. The key? Solve problems without making a show of it. When a project is about to collapse, he'd fix it quietly before it reaches the crisis point. When two teams are clashing, he'd smooth the path without calling a meeting about it. When someone important is in trouble, he'd step in discreetly, making them remember who saved them, but never letting the room see it happen. And when praise inevitably came his way, he would deflect it, let someone else take the credit publicly, because public credit is a spotlight, and spotlights make you a target. Instead, he'd let his reputation grow in whispers, the kind of reputation that matters most, the one behind closed doors. But influence attracts rivals, and when a threat appeared, Machiavelli wouldn't attack them directly. That creates noise, resistance, and risk. Instead, he would starve them of influence, cut them out of critical conversations, redirect opportunities away from them, make them invisible to the people who matter, until one day they're still in the room, but no one is listening. And then comes the moment every strategist waits for: chaos. A leadership shakeup, a scandal, a sudden shift in priorities. This is where most people scramble for safety. But Machiavelli's web, it would already be wrapped tightly around the right people in the right places. Instead of being pulled down by the storm, he'd be lifted higher by the very connections he built. Because in the end, the web isn't just a network, it's a safety net. And if you've built it correctly, it will catch you when others fall and carry you to the top before they even realize what happened. In a world addicted to noise, silence is unsettling. People don't know what to make of it. They think if you're quiet, you're either weak or not paying attention. Machiavelli knew better. Silence is not absence, it's camouflage. When you speak less, people underestimate you. And when they underestimate you, they get careless. They reveal too much in front of you. They drop hints they don't realize you've caught. They fill the space you've left with their own mistakes. All because your quiet made them believe you weren't a threat. Machiavelli would weaponize this underestimation. He wouldn't rush to respond in meetings. He wouldn't fill every pause in conversation. He'd let the pause work for him, stretching it just long enough to make others uncomfortable, to make them speak again and again, revealing more than they intended. And when he did speak, it would never be random. Every word would be measured, intentional, and placed like a chess piece. He would let them see only what he wanted them to see, never his full hand, never his true position, never the depth of his knowledge. Silence creates mystery, mystery creates caution, and caution slows down your enemies. While they hesitate, Machiavelli would be moving, quietly, efficiently, invisibly, positioning himself exactly where he needs to be when the next opportunity appears. This is the paradox of silence. The less they hear from you, the more they watch you. And the more they watch you, the more they reveal about themselves. The impatient charge forward, swinging for the crown. They make noise, they draw attention, and they make enemies before they've even begun. Machiavelli would never do that. He knew the spider's secret. You don't chase power. You build the web and you wait. Because the web is patient. The web doesn't waste energy. The web is ready long before anyone realizes it's there. He would be deliberate in every move, never rushing, never showing his hand too soon. Every connection would be placed with purpose, every alliance tested before it's trusted, every risk calculated before it's taken. To the outside world, it would look like nothing was happening at all. But beneath the surface, the trap would be tightening. And when the moment finally came to move, it wouldn't look like a takeover. It would look like the natural order of things. By the time they saw his crown, it would already be too late to take it. Every rival would be either caught in his web or depending on it. No resistance, no blood on his hands. Just an effortless shift in power that everyone would accept because it felt inevitable. This is winning by design, not force. No desperate grabs, no reckless battles, only patient construction, invisible influence, and a strike so clean they never see it coming. Because in Machiavelli's world, and in yours, the most dangerous victory is the one no one realizes was a battle at all.
Thanks for spending time with us. If this sparked a new way of thinking, hit like and subscribe to keep the ideas flowing. And don't forget, check the description for the links to the original books and resources we used today. We'll see you in the next one.